YouTube fam? It's your girl TK, and I am at home vlogging, darling. As a matter of fact, I just got done eating. I feel real motherfucking good, and I was like, you know what I'm finna do? I want to talk to you guys about Tupac Shakur as well as Snoop Dogg. Now, I don't know if y'all been paying attention to my content page, but if you haven't, friend, like really, why haven't you? Like, you really need to be paying attention, because I've been talking to you guys about Tupac Shakur. As a matter of fact, I've been talking to you guys about him being Machiavelli, the king of light, in his last album, The 7-Day Theory, and how I have been alleging, that Miss Beyonce knows Carter as well as Jay-Z is out here duplicating, Tupac. And it really is a thriller to me, because if you listen to The 7-Day Theory, the second reply, that song, My Second Reply, Tupac was actually referencing Jay-Z. And he didn't really have a lot of likes for Jay-Z at that time when he was alive. Nonetheless, Jay-Z is out here paying homage, him and Beyonce. And again, to me, it will go down in history as a thriller. Anyhow, I want you guys to know today in particular, I wanted to get online and speak to you guys about Snoop Dogg. Because, Tupac's murder was in 1996, but you won't believe people are still out here like me. People are still out here talking about Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur. And just what did Snoop Dogg feel when he saw Tupac, losing his life at that last moment? Because it was alleged that Snoop Dogg was at that hospital when Tupac Shakur was shot. And, the article that I was reading is coming from People magazine. He actually was talking about the love he had for Tupac Shakur and how he actually fainted when he knew that Tupac was shot like 9 times. And then now he's going through something where he was like shot again. And they were just hoping that he was going to survive. Anyhow, I wanted to read this article because it's coming from People magazine. It's one of those big ones. And I want you guys to let me know what you guys are thinking or whatever. So I'm going to back this camera up just a tad bit so it don't be all in my face like dead or whatever. And I'm going to read this article. So it says here that Snoop Dogg recalls final conversation with Tupac after fatal 1996 shooting. We loved each other. Very sentimental, right? Now, it says, when I walked in, I could just feel like he wasn't even there and I fainted. Snoop Dogg recalled during a conversation with Logan Paul on a podcast. Now, Snoop Dogg is remembering his final moments spent with Tupac Shakur. During an appearance on social media personality and professional boxer Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, Snoop Dogg told a story about visiting Tupac after the late rapper was hospitalized for the 1996 Las Vegas shooting that caused his death at 25 years old. At the time, both musicians were signed to Death Row Records, co-founded by Suge Knight, and had recently collaborated on Tupac's Two of America's Most Wanted single from All Eyes on Me album. While speaking to Paul, the 50-year-old doggy-style performer recalled learning of Tupac's hospitalization and quickly driving to the hospital. When we drive to Vegas to see Pac, we got to Suge house first, So we haven't even seen Pac, said Snoop. We just talking to Suge, and he got the head wrapped up, and he telling us what happened and saying Pac gonna be all right. He gonna pull through. He got shot 9 times before. He gonna be all right. We feeling like it's gonna be all right until we go to the hospital and see that it ain't all right. He got tubes in him, he continued. When I walked in, I could just feel like he wasn't even there and I fainted. Snoop was then pulled outside by Tupac's mother, Mrs. Shakur, for a private conversation. She was like, my baby ain't never seen you weak. I don't want you to be weak in front of him, he detailed. You go in that bathroom and you fix yourself up and you go back in there and you talk to him and you tell him how you feel. At the time of Tupac's hospitalization, he and Snoop weren't on the best terms due to personal drama. But the late rapper's mother urged him to put their differences aside and support his friend. My baby loves you, he recalled Miss Tupac Shakur telling him. She knew there was a little tension, but she knew how much we loved each other, Snoop explained. So she gave us a moment for me to say some things to him as far as how much I love him. But I knew that that was going to be my last time speaking with him. Now, ain't that a thriller? He was able to tell him at a difficult time. Because, see, I didn't know in the beginning of this article that there was tension between Tupac and Snoop Dogg. But in a difficult time in his life, he was still telling him, I love you. I mean, it seemed like Tupac was going through it with a lot of people. Once he came out as this Machiavelli, this artist, and he was already a great person, a great rapper. You can hear, you know what I'm saying, his personality through his song. You can see how people gravitated towards his music. People loved and respected Tupac Shakur. He was something serious. Anyhow, let me know what you guys think about Snoop Dogg and him going on the podcast and sharing his last times with with Tupac Shakur. I would love to know your thoughts, opinions, and attitudes. Sorry, I had to look down to look at my cell phone, but you know I had to read this little article to you because I thought it was interesting. It was a thriller, and I wanted to share because sharing is caring. Peace, love, and happiness, guys. Bye.